What is going on, Covenant fam? So, I figured while I'm on my way, you know where, I might as well tell you guys about, my 5 co-drivers, right? So, I came to Covenant in 2018 of August, right? I did mention in one of my styrofoam plate is driving me nuts. It's making that scratching, like, loud noise. Anyway, so in one of my videos, or maybe a couple of my videos, I had mentioned about me starting my very first lane. Taking my first load on my birthday, right? So, like, that was literally my first load. We picked up the load in Pomona, and we took it to Amazon in Nevada. So anyway, I literally dropped on my birthday. I was like, complete loads while I'm celebrating me. All accomplishments and everything. So, anyway, let me take it down a notch. I'm happy today, I think, because I've, like, rested. So, I hate when my camera freezes, because it always pauses on, like, the weirdest, like, moments, while I'm talking. So, I took my load, and my first load was, like, on my birthday, and, my birthday's in October, so, like, you can kind of gauge from there. I did orientation the 8th. Nope, I got married on the 8th. 9, 10. Okay, it was like the week of the 10th, I believe. Yeah, because the kids started school on the 9th. So anyway, so August, and then I was in orientation, and then, like, all that time passed, and I was, like, trying to get to my trainer, and I told you guys about that, I believe, going from Pomona, staying there for like a week and a half, then going to Texas when we had the Hutchins yard. I did not like that yard. I'm glad they sold it. But they're selling Pomona. Oh, Jesus. Okay. So I was in Hutchins, and I stayed there for like about a week, and then I was told that I was going to do a ride along, so I jumped on this truck with a trainer and his student, so I didn't drive at all. I just got to, like, sit and enjoy, like, being out and being in the truck. And then I finally got to chat, and then I met my trainer. So, like, the month of September is when I got on my trainer's truck, and then I finished, by then it was like the middle of September, I want to say, maybe towards the end of September. And then I was like 3 or 4 weeks on my trainer's truck. Then I went home because my birthday's at the end of October. So if I would have finished beginning of September, then I would have already completed before my birthday in October. So I know it was somewhere around there. But anyway, where was I going with this? Oh, so my first co-driver, I met her at the hotel when I was in orientation for Pomona. So everything was cool. We already had a plan. She finished a little bit before me because she got with a trainer that trained 2 students at once. And I wanted a non-smoker. So it took me longer for me to get a trainer. So let me make that note. Preferences could also prolong your training, because you have to wait for a specific preference that you have. So, yeah. So my first co-driver and I, we got teamed together after I came back from my home time after being on my trainer's truck. And we teamed for like a good 3, maybe 6 months. And she was not happy with the money we were making, because in the beginning we didn't make nothing. And this was before Covenant did like 2 revisals of their pay packages. So she didn't like the pay, right? And she was like, this is BS, blah, blah, blah. So she was going off. So she decided she was going to quit and she was going to leave. I was on that ship too, but I talked to my grandpa, may he rest in peace. And he told me, baby girl, you just getting in this. You getting your feet wet. He said, don't you dare leave that company. He said, and if you do, don't you ever abandon no truck. So I was like, okay. So he talked me off the ledge, y'all. My grandpa talked me off the ledge. So I was gonna leave. I promise you. I don't tell lies on my channel, okay? I was going to leave 6 months into driving with Covenant, but my grandpa saved my career, okay? So I stayed. I was out a co-driver, so I had to go back to Pomona Yard. And when you didn't have a co-driver, then I don't know how it is now, but then when you didn't have a co-driver, they usually just ran you like empties and things like that. And like down in the LA area, that was pretty much like a lot of times they needed to like keep trailer pool like to fill fill empties or whatever for the customer. So that kind of kept us busy. We did temporary teaming, and then we did like short runs and local runs or whatever, got the local pay. So whatever, they kept me busy. Then I got temp teamed with this lady that I call Miss Anxiety. I mean, she was just a ball of nerves all the time. And she had like a lot of issues back at home, like back in Arizona. And she only had like 2 weeks left before she was gonna get like her 1 year of having her CDL. So she decided that she was gonna go home and then just wait 2 weeks and then apply for a local company. So she ended up dipping out, leaving me by myself. So this is what I mean by it wasn't my fault. I've had multiple co-drivers, but it's not, I can't control when co-drivers quit, you know? So anyway, co-driver number 3. She was well known, or still is well known within Covenant, and which is fine. That don't bother me at all. But we were teamed for a little bit together. Well, actually, not even a little bit. We were teamed for a whole entire year. Let me take that back. I'm trying to find somewhere to park, y'all. We were teamed together for a whole year. And everything was fine. It was dandy. But we started having problems, I guess, because she was getting antsy. And my husband and I, you know, we can get a little intense when we be having our marital discussions. And I guess that was bugging her, giving her anxiety or whatever, which has nothing to do with her. But this is where it goes back to, you know, dealing with putting headphones on, giving the respect or whatever and all that, instead of eavesdropping on people's conversations just because you want to be part of the chisme, right? So for those that don't know what that is, that's gossip. In Spanish, it's gossip. And no, I don't speak Spanish. I know certain words. I'm self-taught, so give me some time, okay? Anyway, so we were teamed for a little bit, started to cause static or whatever, and this, I don't want to call her names, this lady, okay, decided that she was going to call IRC behind my back and tell them that me, my husband, and my 5-year-old, well, he was 4 at the time, were experiencing COVID symptoms. And this one, COVID was all the rage, y'all, okay? All the rage. The whole country was shut down. And you're going to tell the job that me, my husband, and my son are sick? So, yeah, I wasn't too happy about that. We got into it, and instead of her asking me, like, you know, if my husband was regular sick or if he just had like, you know, scratch in his throat, he was drinking tea, y'all. He was drinking tea. He left his cup in my car and we went to go get something to eat because we were coming off of home time. And I apologized that my cup holder was occupied with a teacup. And I said my husband was drinking tea because he had like, you know, scratchy throat or whatever. She didn't say nothing to me, y'all. Nothing. Held it in. She came to her own assumptions. So then, when I told her that my son was sick, you know, I had posted I took my son to the hospital and he was real sick or whatever. And he coughed so hard that mucus came out his nose. He was that congested and he coughed so hard that mucus, you know, just came right out his nose. And sorry for those that are eating maybe, or have weak stomachs. But it had like a little bit of blood mixed in it. So my mom was concerned. And so she called me and she's like, you know, you're going to have to take the baby to the hospital because, you know, he just coughed and Mucus came out his nose. He real sick, all this other stuff. So I was telling her that story, right? This is all the same day. Okay. So I was telling her that story. She didn't say nothing, y'all. She held it in, didn't say nothing. And then I told her, my nose is kind of a little runny and I felt kind of weird, but I was fine. I didn't have no other symptoms. Just my nose was kind of runny. I had a runny nose. Didn't say nothing else. That was all I said, literally. This lady took all that, came to her own conclusions, and then called IRC and told them that we were sick and experiencing COVID symptoms. And IRC called me, y'all, while I was putting my stuff on the truck. And they sent me home for a week. In addition, a week after just coming off from being home for a week. Because I used to be out 6 weeks and be home for a week. And we don't get paid when we off work, right? So I was hot. Oh, I was hot. I was so mad. And I left it at that. But luckily, it was around tax time. So this happened like in April or May, somewhere around there. So it was around tax time. I had already got my money. So I had like 15 G's in my account. Plus we had just got paid the week prior. And then we got a bonus. We had reached one of our teaming bonuses. So we, I had money. Okay. And I told her that to her face. I said, you so lucky that I have money in my account right now and I'm not even tripping. I said, because if I didn't and I was broke and struggling and I had to make it to the next week, we would be fighting. So, at the time, I really didn't care about what it looked like or how I was acting, which isn't fair. But I didn't. I was that angry. I was mad. And so I threw my keys at her, at the crack that she had in her car. So, I wasn't very professional when I was angry. I get it. We all get there. But now looking back on it, I could have just been the bigger person and walked away. I think the thing that got me, though, was the fact that she brought my son and my husband into it. If she didn't want a team anymore, all she had to say was that, you know what, we ran together for a year. We made really good money together, but I think it's time for me to find another co-driver and move on. Right? She didn't do that. She made up all kinds of lies and this and that, all because she wanted the opposite sex on her truck. We're going to leave that to the imagination, okay? So, yeah. I wasn't teamed with her no more. Our team, Team 13 that we were teamed on at the time, tried everything in their power to get us to reconcile because we were that good of a team together. I mean, taking loads that other drivers had late, making up the time, cutting the time in half, et cetera, et cetera. We were a dynamite team and they were devastated that we could not get it together. But after something like that, I can't trust you no more. I can't. There's no way that you can get me to be able to trust that what you're saying is truth, is accurate. So we let that go. So that was co-driver number 3. I call her COVID liar. Okay. And then co-driver number 4. She and I were teamed together a little over a year as well. A little over a year. And she's who I got on the Estes account with. We were both doubles endorsed, had all our endorsements, everything. And they were needing drivers really bad on that account. So they were calling drivers that were qualified to be on the account to fill the slot. And we just happened to be one of those drivers. It just so happened that we were in Chattanooga at the time. So we actually got our training that same week. And we set out to start Estes doubles. We ran that account together for a little over a year. And during my time being teamed with my 4th co-driver, I actually got COVID. So I was at home sick and isolated. And so she kept running. They kept her really busy running solo, local stuff close to the West Coast, and things that she could do on her own without it being like a time constraint. And she ended up getting fired for too many accidents. She had 2 accidents just within the time that I was off from COVID alone. And then there were like a couple other accidents while I was on the truck with her. So that's why she is no longer with the company and why I didn't have a co-driver after co-driver number 4. So then I got teamed with the co-driver I have now, which is co-driver number 5, Miss Lovely Lily. And we are dynamite, and we are a lot alike in a lot of ways. So it was literally a really, really good match. There's been a couple times to where, you could feel like it gets tense a bit, but not to where like we're not going to team together anymore, because those happen very few and far in between. And it was like little misunderstanding type of stuff. So we ended up just working through it and then moving forward. But we still run Estes. We are on the dedicated together. She came with that lane when I got teamed with her, and I just happened to be geographically in that that area as far as like where I lived. And so it only made sense for us to team together, and it was literally a match made in heaven. So we are still currently teamed. We absolutely take care of each other 1,000%. We know each other's families, etc. And yeah, we have a really good partnership. So I know that it's possible, you guys. And that's why I say, like, as long as you do what you're supposed to do, you don't have a bad attitude, and you're not big-headed, and you ain't doing all this stuff. Like, you having a lot of co-drivers doesn't always necessarily mean it's your fault. That people might look at it and be like, dang, you had 8 co-drivers? Like, why? Well, 5 of them quit. How is that my fault? It doesn't mean I'm a bad person or I'm not, teamable. It's just they didn't want to stay. I ain't got no control over that. So don't get discouraged when you hear that people have a lot of co-drivers, because it happens. It really does. And it's trial and error. And it's like, you team with this person, it doesn't work out, crap. Okay, you team with this person, it doesn't work out, crap. Okay, so, but once you find that one, you good. And you be stacking monies, right? So that is my co-driver video. I hope you guys understand. I got to get inside here because I am super late. And until next time, guys, bye.